Hello there, welcome to my YouTube channel. If this is your first time stopping by here, you're welcome. My name is Grace, and on this channel I share sewing tutorials. This video is the sewing tutorial of this stylish overbust corset that you can see here. If you have not seen the pattern drafting tutorial, it is already on the channel, and I'm going to be dropping the link in the description box below. So if this is something you are interested in, then let's get started. So for all the pieces that I have, I went ahead to also cut lining pieces for them and made sure that I label all my pieces so that I will not be confused when I'm joining this together. And also on all the pieces, both the main fabric and the lining, I ironed fusible interfacing, the softest one to it. So I'm going to be making use of all these pieces to sew this overbust corset. So I'm just arranging the front pieces the way they are supposed to be. Don't forget that labeling your pieces is very important, especially for the back part, because you tend to get confused when you are joining them together. So on the center front and the middle front on the lining pieces, I went ahead to gum my breast part, which is also known as wadding, to heat. So I'm going to be joining the main fabric together now, and I'm going to be taking note of the allowances that I added when I was drafting this, when I was cutting this from the pattern paper. I added about 0.75 of an inch, so I'm taking note of that so that the pieces will be balanced at the end of the day. So I'm done joining the two center fronts. I'm going to bring the middle front pieces and do the same thing also. This is very important to have something balanced at the end of the day. So you just take your measurements and sew like that. I'm also going to join the other parts, and this is what it looks like. So I'm going to join the center front also, but I'll join this from the down part so that the armhole area is going to be pronounced and I'll know where that ends. So I'm sewing these two side fronts together also. Then I'll go ahead and iron my pieces open. Then for the back also, I'll do the same thing. So you can see how I labeled my back really well so that I don't make mistake while joining them together. So use any means you know to label them. You can use arrows and the likes just to be sure of what you are joining together, because if you join the wrong side, at the end of the day you would not really like the outcome. So just use any means to identify. So after joining the center back and the middle back, I'm also joining the side back together. So once I'm done joining the back side, I'll do the same thing also that I did now for my lining pieces. After doing that, I'll go ahead and iron my seams open. So I ironed all the seams of the front opened like this, and I also joined the lining pieces together, and I'll also go ahead and iron the seams open. So can you see that the breast part are at those center front and the middle front and not on the side. Then I'll go ahead and iron this like I'm molding it with my tailor's arm. So to get my boning channel, I have my strips here. These strips measures about 1.5 inches wide. So I'm going to measure what I have where I want to place the boning. I think I have about 20 inches at the center there, and I'm going to take that measurement and I'll cut out what I have. Okay, I have 17 inches. So I'll cut out what I have and then wrap my boning with a strip like this. So this is a regular boning that you can sew on. So when I wrap it inside the strip, I'm going to take measurement of about 1 inch up there. So I will not start the boning from the very beginning of the strip. Then I'll start sewing on it like that. So I'm sewing on one side, and when I get to almost the end, I'm going to take note of about 1 inch again. Then I'll cut out what I have. So I already have my boning in the channel. I'm just going to place it on my fabric like this. then I'll sew it on it, making sure that I'm doing that right in the middle, especially on those parts that we have joinings. So for this tutorial, I'm actually going to be doing this on the joining area alone because I'm a little bit short of boning. So after sewing it down like this, I'm going to flip it up to the other side so that I can give it the final sewing down. So I will just press it like this. So just go ahead and sew down your boning all the way. So this is what I have at the end of the day, and I'm also going to do the same thing on other places where I have joinings. So you can as well place boning in places that we don't have joining, but I'm just doing this because I'm short of bonings for this tutorial. But the more the boning, the more the structures. So I also did the same thing for the back pieces also. Then it's time to do the bust caging for this particular corset. So I'm just going to be taking note of the bust point first. So that's the first place that I'm going to place my line boning. Then at the top side and also at the under bust side, then I can create other bonings in between, like the way I want it, as much as I want it. So I'll go ahead now and start sewing from that area that is the bust point. So I'm just sewing the boning directly on my line. So make sure you do this first on the bust point area, then you do it for the other areas, and you can use as much boning as you want here. So I'll do it for the other lines also the way I did this. And after I'm done, I'll also do it for the vertical lines that I have here. So can you see what I have at the end of the day? So I've successfully caged my bust now. Then I'll go ahead to my ironing table and mold this with my iron and my tailor's arm. After that, I'm going to be fleshing this caging up. I'm supposed to use a fiber for this, but they don't have it in my area, and I'm just making use of this breast pad that is very succulent and soft. So the right thing to use is actually that fiber, but I don't have it presently as at the time I'm shooting this video, and they are not selling it in my area. So I'm going to cut out exactly what I need for the bust caging area, and I'm going to sew it on the bust caging. So if you don't have fiber like me, you can use about 2 layers of this to just do this, but it's better to make use of fiber. So after sewing this down, this is what I have. So I'll keep on molding. I'll use my tailor's arm and my iron to continue molding this. Now it's time to sew the lining and the main fabric together. So placing them right sides facing each other, I'm going to join the top first and also the armhole area. So those are the places I'm going to join alone. So after joining it and turning it over, this is what it looks like. So this is what the inside is also looking like. Then the next thing now is to go ahead and also iron this again. So I'll go ahead and give it a press again and mold it. So I'm going to be joining the bust area together to the lining and the main fabric using this hemming gum. So I'm just going to layer these hemming gums in between. So this is so that the fabric does not keep moving and moving, because we need it to stay together. So I'm going to be placing those hemming gums in between, layering them up, and I'll iron it. So after ironing, this is what I have. Then I'm going to this is the back pieces. I've already joined them at the center and also at the top. Now it's time to join the two together. So placing them right sides facing each other like this. I mean placing the fabric, the main fabric to the main fabric and the lining to the lining. I'm going to be using a 1-inch sewing allowance to sew them all together. So I'm going to be sewing the lining to the lining side, I hope you understand, and also the main fabric to the main fabric side. This is so that we don't have any rough edges showing up at the end of the day. So it will be hard, but it's possible to do. So this is what I mean, and see what the inside looks like. There are no rough edges at the end of the day. So this is the side that the highlights are gonna sit at the end of the day. If you have more bonings, it's advisable to put more boning at that back area, but I put less because I don't have bonings available presently. So at this side also, you should also place your sewable boning or your plastic boning. So now it's time to fix this up and close up this area. But before doing that, you can also go ahead and use your hemming gum to gum up all of your fabric together, and that was what I did. So for the strip that I'm going to be using for my finishing up the hem of this top, I have about 2 inches wide strip, and I'm going to place it on the hem of the garment like this and use it like a bias to turn it up. So I first sew it on the wrong side and I'll turn it to the right side like this, like a bias, and I'm going to give it a top stitch all the way to the end. And when I was done doing that, this is what it looks like. So the last thing now is to fix your eyelets at the back. Thank you for watching. This is the final look of the Overbust corset. If you have not subscribed to this channel, please make sure you do so. Don't also forget to give this video a thumbs up and also share it to others. Bye for now and see you in my next tutorial.